Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Today I'm with UFC 145er. He is the Lion. He is Mr. Lucas Alexander, and he is getting ready to make his return to UFC Octagon February 1st, taking on newcomer Bogdan Grad. Lucas, man, how are you doing, my friend? Excited to have a fight on the books?
Hey brother, how you doing? I am, man. I'm super excited. It's been a long time outside the cage. I'm grateful for the time I have to get better and working a lot of stuff. But I'm super excited to get back in there.
You know, you're coming off of a very long layoff. The last time you fought was the end of 2023, November 2023, and you haven't fought since. So we're going about 13 months here. It's going to be more, like 14, 15 months by the time the fight comes. What's some of the reasons for why the long layoff?
Um, so right after the fight, um, I did a surgery in my knee when I fought Steve and when I accepted the fight against David. I still have the tear in my knee. I fought both with meniscal tear. I was supposed to fight David, and then he pulled out, and then I fought Jacka. And I think it was around May, June, July last year. I did a lot of treatment in my knees. Was a lot of stem cells, cortisone shot, and at the end of the camp with Jacka, like I remember, like I feel like I pushed it to the extreme of my body because after the fight I wasn't even able to drive like 30, 35 minutes without my knee locked. It was very painful, very hard for me to sleep, and the cold, it was unbelievable. So I got the surgery done, and after the surgery took me like 6 weeks, 5 weeks to be completely like, now I can go back to training and take another like, month and a half to start to feel good. So I was trying to get to fight around June, July last year, but UFC was not able to give me nothing at the time, and I was okay with it. So I said, "All right, let me fight a little bit late some." And then August, September, October came, and they offered me a fight. I think in short notice, it was like 5, 4 weeks, and I was not very prepared either. I was just getting back to like actually full time training. I think I was just hurt my shoulder, and I stopped training for like 2, 3 weeks. And the UFC told me they're gonna fight me a fight in November in China. So I'm like, okay, great. So they was not able to match me up in China. They told me, oh, you're gonna fight in January. I said, all right, cool. And then they never gave me a fight in January. And then eventually they booked me for February 1st. So I was just, I got frustrated, but at the same time, I'm impatient. So I was, I got good people around of me to help me be patient and be focused. So that helps a lot.
Does it excite you to be able to go fight in Riyadh, a newer market that, every time they go there, they put on wonderful events, nice arena? Does that excite you?
Very excited, man. Never been in the Middle East, and one of the reasons my goal was to fight for UFC is to be traveling all over the world and met new people and find different places. So I'm super excited to go in a whole different country for a whole different culture and actually explore and fight.
So you train over at Fusion Excel. I really think you guys are one of the more underrated gyms. I mean, the talent in there, the people who come and train there, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Coach Julian does such a wonderful job. But how did you come, obviously moving from Brazil to the United States? At what point did you find Fusion? When did you know that was the place for you?
I honestly, I didn't know back in the day, like in 2018, 2017, one of my best friend, we was looking to get better, as a fighter and grow. He was a way ahead of me in the scenario. I think I was a 2-0 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. He was where 72, 5 wins straight. And he like, nah, man, if you want to make it to the next level, we need to learn how grapple, we need to learn how wrestle, we need to learn, like in America they're the best for. So I remember we planned to come to America, but at the first time we was trying to go to Jackson Week, training New Albuquerque. And the reason that we did that was because they actually have kind of like a a place to sleep, at the gym. They and kind of like more easy for a foreign fighter, coming from a different country. So that was the main reason. But me and my friend, we used to follow Jacare and Alan Luget on social media, and Jacare literally just like moved to USA, start training at Fusion Excel, and we like a lot, and we start to follow Julian, and then we start to text him, and like everything worked so perfect. Like Jacare ended up fighting Kevin Gastelum back in Brazil in 2018. So Julian, Phil, they went all the way, JT, they went all the way up to Brazil, and that we was able to meet. And even now we don't have English or nothing. We was able to Google Translate and tell him like, "Oh, you want to train with you guys?" And he like, "Yeah, sure, you can come. You're more than welcome." But if you ask him, he even say he like, "I don't think you guys will come." Like I get the message all the time. Plus, you guys in Brazil, like you guys need to speak the language of my country. How you guys, you didn't even have money either. But long story short, October 2018, I bought my ticket. I came to USA. Julian opened the doors for me for the gym. He opened the doors for his house for me as well. I'm super grateful. And since that day, he been work with me and helped me to get where I am, and I'm very grateful for that.
And what was that like taking that risk, leaving it all in Brazil and choosing to come to America to pursue this dream?
Different, man. Was I was a kid. It's funny. Like there's things like if today I have to do that, I don't think I would do that because the age that I am today, I will start to put a lot of things ahead of it. Oh, I'm not gonna be able. I don't have money. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Oh, but I was a kid who was just trying to make something out of nothing. So I feel like when you come from nothing, you technically don't lose. You know what I'm saying? You don't have nothing to lose. So at that time of the day, I don't have nothing to lose because I have the only thing I have is a fight. So I think it was really easy to make that move, but when I got here, it was not easy. Was a lot of process, dealing with missing my family, can I speak the language? But I met my wife, and that kind of like changed my whole vision of what America could do. Because when I came to America, I came to be a fighter, and I come to be in UFC, and then I start to move towards to the path, and I met my wife, and I met a bunch of friends, and I started building a family, I started building, relationships, and I start to identify myself more with the country, and I feel like it was easy for me to get adapted to the country, but in the first 2 3 years was really hard in the scenario of as a immigrant in a country like America it is, but also I'm very grateful for the opportunity because there's none other country I think have give many opportunities how America gives, so I'm very very grateful for it.
One of the first promotions that you fought in the United States was Island Fights. Dean Toole, very good regional promotion out of Pensacola. How did you enjoy fighting MMA in the boxing ring?
Amazing, because I fought my whole life in the boxing ring, my whole kickbox career. And when you're underage, by the way, shout out to Dean. Dean gave me the opportunity to fight in UFC Fight Pass when I was nobody. I was able to put my name out there, and people recognize me because the opportunity he gave it to me. I'm very grateful for him and Mitchell as well. They both give me the platform to show my skill, and they always cheer for me and all support me till today. So shout out to Dean, Mitchell, and also Anthony Perez, because the main event was a cherry on a cake, I will say like that. But to me, was it the question you said in the beginning?
I was like, how did you enjoy fighting in the ring
Yes, that's
in
what we went for. I enjoy a lot, man. Like I say, I fought my whole life in the kickbox ring, because my background is kickbox. But in Brazil, if you under age like 18, you have to fight kind of like on the mats. So I remember multiple times fighting the mats and just looking up at the ring and like, man, I can't wait to be over 18 and fight in the ring. And then when I got to 18, now it's a whole new level. You adult, no more kids anymore. So I fought my whole life in the ring. So for me, I feel a little home. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I wish UFC was on the ring. I think it would be way more fun.
In addition to Island Fights, you also got to fight on another Florida-based promotion, Combat Night. Like 60% of your teammates fight for Combat Night. Great promotion that Mitch and his partners do there. You really feel like, you had I think 3 or 4 fights with Combat Night. You really feel like you were able to grow in that promotion, and really did that instill in you that you have what it takes to fight at the next level?
1000%. I love what Mitchell does. Mitchell trying to give a taste of what high level it is. Even now, it's kind of impossible because you just can't feel when you're there. But he trying to give a taste to those fighters, and a lot of fighters don't appreciate that. But a lot of fighters do appreciate that and use the opportunity to take the career for the next level. He when he can, he do those press conference interview, he do those signing posts. He give you clothes and bag ways. So all this is stuff people don't realize he's doing that. So he's trying to prepare you, not also just prepare, but also because you're a fighter, you deserve to be not gift, but you deserve to be reward. So, um, but also I feel like me, as I look everything very professional. I'm trying to put everything into the perspective of being professional. So for me, he do everything like that because he been a high level, not just as a coach, but he been as a fighter. He fought for only championship and short notice. He have amazing record. He fought, if I'm not mistaken, for Bellator as well. But he understand what the next level asking for. So what he does, he trying to give those fighters the next level, and it's impressive because I don't feel like all the event does. I don't see a lot of events doing that. You know.
Another really cool thing that you got to do, you talked about a little bit, but headlining Anthony Pettis's promotion's first ever event. How did that all come about? How did you get approached by Anthony Pettis to even do that?
Bro, I honest, I I didn't even remember how that happened. I just remember um my coach. I think it was Pete, one of my friend. He used to help us manage a couple fighters from Fusion in the beginning, and he been friend with Dinto, and also he was the one who make the connection for Dean give him the 2 fight and he has no fight because my first fight in America got canceled on the day of the fight. And then Pete heard that, got really upset, and he like, hold on, I'm gonna try to make the fight again. So me and my opponent, we made a way, and we was about to fight 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, before the fight happened, Aslan fight. So Dean gave the platform. The card was already made. Dean squeezed another fight there, put me in the card. I fought for him, and then 2 months later, I fought for Carlos Guerra. After I fought for Carlos Guerra, was 2 wins back to back too quickly. So Julian told me to take some time off. And at the time, they asked me to fight Jacob, and Julian said, I want Lucas to take a time off. I need him get better, and then eventually he can fight. And then Jacob went one way, and I went another way. And I remember my Pete told me, he said, "Oh, I got a fight for you against Jacob. I sent you Julian. Julian liked the fight. He won the fight." I'm like, "All right, cool." So Julian presented me the fight, and also Dean and Julia, they are friends. So when Dean texted Julian, Julian say, "No, let's do the fight. We want to take the fight." And Julia presented to me. He said, "Look, you beat this guy. It's put your name out there, or you go straight to UFC, or you go straight Contender Series." So I think it's a fight you have to take. So if you want to get the next level, so we did it, and I'm glad that worked out perfect.
Obviously that was a great performance for you. You were able to put him out there. Following the victory, did you know that was going to probably be enough to get you to the UFC?
I I honestly I didn't thought about it. Like I focused on one thing. I focused on just on the fight, and I remember just doing the whole camp, and I remember Julian being very specific for the gaming plan. And I feel like trying to focus on the gaming plan and be consistently thinking about the gaming plan helped me to be just focused on the fight. So I didn't even thought about I get to UFC. I honestly, when I got the call from UFC, I was lined up to fight again. So I didn't know I was gonna get a call, and I remember my manager Abe told me, he like, just be ready, man. That's gonna happen anytime. And I remember for the first 3 months, 4 months, I was very like, come on, man, like when I'm gonna get a call, when I'm gonna get a call, and as soon as I stopped thinking about it, that happened. So
Where were you when Abe called you and told you that you're going to be fighting in the UFC?
I was pulling up to my house. Um, I was with my wife. She was driving behind me. We literally just had food. That was Saturday after sparring a fusion, and I was pulling up to my house, and Phil called me, and he asked me, "How much you weigh right now?" That's random, and I'm like, I don't know. I think 163, 164. I just finished it. And then he like, all right, man, start to cut weight because you'll find UFC next week. And I'm like, there's no way. He like, nah, man, I just got out of the phone with Abe. Abe called me. And I'm like, there's no way. And then Julia like right away like called me at the same time Phil's called me. So I remember like pull up my car in the mirror, like the entrance of my house, like my condo. And my wife was behind me, and then like I opened it, and I'm like, I start screaming like, I'm in UFC, and she like, what? Like she have no clue. And then she like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I just signed with UFC. And she like, there's no way. And then like she heard everything. And then I remember like the whole Saturday was just us trying to fill up all the paperwork, doing all the docs. That shit was so overwhelming. It was so crazy. But took us like 2 or 3 days to sign all the papers, to schedule all the appointments, to send all the information. Was crazy. But never forget that.
Obviously, you took first fight, took on Johannerson Brito, a guy who's been a really big name in the division. You know, the things, it didn't go your way, but
Hmm.
were there a lot of takeaways? Any positive takeaways from that timeout?
Of course, man. Everything, everything in life it's like that, man. When it doesn't work the way we want, we have to understand why that happened. And I'm grateful for Jones to give me the opportunity to fight him. If he say no to me, I won't be in UFC. So I'm glad for that. But I'm not happy with the performance because it ended up my way. But also I know we're in the same weight class. We are trying to get the same thing, get a family situation, get the belt, and be a top 15. So eventually, I feel like I'm gonna have opportunity to fight him, or at least show I deserve more credibility for the actually fighter I am. But at the same time, like I'm not the person who like to speak because the words is just words. I like to try to put the actions that actually means. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make more actions in my career. Unfortunately, my last fight didn't went my way, but I feel very confident about this one. I'm super happy with this one, and I think I'm gonna be able to put a great performance. I think no, I'm sure I'm gonna put a great performance.
All right, so you're taking on Bogdan Grad, a guy who found victory over Michael Aswell in the Dana White Contender Series just a few months ago. Going to be his first fight in the UFC. A guy who's been doing this for a little bit of time, has got some experience. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
Very good opponent, man. Very aggressive, like to fight, like to throw hands, throw kicks. I love that. I love someone who bring the fights because that's what I do for the fight. So I think it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. The way he fights, the way I fight, I think it's gonna be very interesting. So I'm super excited to like be in a cage with him and start to throw some hands on him and kicks. It's gonna be a
You know,
good one.
when I saw that this one got announced, I got super excited because if you watch him, if you watch you, you guys don't go backwards, you just go forward. And I
Yeah.
think this is going to be absolutely fireworks and full of explosions. Would you be surprised if this is a 3 round dogfight?
I won't be surprised. I don't know about dogfight because I don't gonna let the guy hit me, but uh, we train you for that, right? Everyone wanted the knockout and submission, but realistic. Every fighter, I feel like they know in the back of their head, I have to train for 15 minutes because I'm in UFC. Everyone there is tough. There's no easy fights. People can say whatever they want to say. Fans can say whatever they want to say, but all the fighters, when you talk to the fighters, they know there's no easy fight in UFC. So I don't look at him as an easy fighter at all. I look at him as a great fighter, and I know he have the same will I have. Win the fight, knock me out. You know what I'm saying? I have the same will against him. So I I definitely can see we go 15 minutes, but we maybe can go 1 round, 2 rounds. Who knows? But I'm super excited about that because I want to see how the fight's gonna actually, develop.
Do you really feel like, if you get a big win over Bogdan Grad, does that really help you really start, a run in the 145 division? Does that help you get big names from going this point out?
1,000%, and I think that was my goal. Uh, that's when I'm super glad for this 14, 15 months layoff. Like uh, my skills got so much better. In every aspect. Like even in my strike, people say like, "Oh, your strike is so good, like you're great already," and I'm like, "Yeah, but they always room to improve, always room to improve." And now I see that like 14, 15 months ago, if I have to step in the cage against Jacka, even though I lost the fight, like I'll be a totally completely different fight, just mine and skill set. So I feel like this fight's gonna be good for me because it's gonna give me the opportunity to start to actually be fighting for actually put my name out there. So I can't wait to get that win and actually start to see more what the future have for me, what UFC have for me, because I want to stay there for a long time.
So many people watch this sport in this day and age. I feel they look at the GSPs, the John Jones, the Habibs, and they're like, wow, it must be amazing to be a professional fighter. Like they look at the glory and the fame of it and they think it's best thing ever. Obviously, be a professional fighter, man. This is one of the toughest things you can do in your life. When you're battling it out on the regional scene, you're not making millions of dollars. The money isn't really into it at that point. A lot of guys have the 9 to 5 jobs. They have kids. They have a wife. You have to go to pay to train. You, for example, train with a bunch of killers who want this just as bad as you. You guys put each other through hell every single day in the gym. When you get to the UFC, the finances, they get better. It gets better. But all those sacrifices are still real. What's made you want to keep doing this and keep punching and kicking forward through all these years?
My village, man, I got great people around of me who actually. Oh, I feel like I have people. The people around of me have more faith in me than actually I have in myself, and I feel like that's very important. Like my wife, like always support me, picking up extra hours to help with the bills more because I was fighting for 500 more 500. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things who make a person to be a fighter. And I got good coach like Julian always take care of me and ask if I need anything, if I need help, if anything. I got friends who also support me so much. You go to my fights, I always trying to help me, always there to be my partner for my camp. So all that like help me. But also what helps too is what you just say. Like I'm not the only one who struggle, right? I go to Fusion. I see another of my friends like training and then go to work and then training, and bring the kids with him. So like I mean, like in my mind, I mean, like if he's doing what's making me not able to do it either, like why can I just not have the same faith in sacrifice because there's a person doing it in front of me. So I that helped me a lot to encourage myself and push me, and also my family back home. Like one of the main reasons is I need to get my family a better life, and that's the goal. They always been the goal. Like my family here, me and my wife. I wanna have kids, my family back home. So all that it's more big than actually the thoughts sometimes making me not want to be a fighter or making me not think I'm good enough. You know what I'm saying? So like I have more reasons. I have better reasons than actually bad thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
So over training, obviously at Fusion Excel, you're part of that core group of guys who've been there for a while. Obviously, Beast Boy Davis, Val Woodburn, Alex, Phil Rowe, the list goes on and on. Mike Perry, but a couple new guys emerging within the last year of your team: Terrence McKinney, Charles Johnson, both obviously doing great things in the UFC. What's it been like to add those two as teammates?
Amazing, man. Like I did it Charles' whole camp. I helped him sparring the whole camp. Uh, Stylistic because he was fighting a southpaw, and also because the guy was like a striker. So I was able to help him a lot. And also now I'm doing my camp with Terrence, and we've been like drilling together and experience. So it's good because we relate in a lot of stuff as a fighter. You got the same mindset. And like I say, like I have him, like yesterday I was on the phone with Terrence like 8:30 at night, and we was trying to figure out about the flights and the stuff when we're gonna get there. And then he have his son like on the top of him, choking him, screaming at the house. And I'm like, man, you told me you want to go home to chill. He like, Lucas, this is my chill. Like, I have to do this. If I don't do this kid's gonna, like drive me crazy. So like those things, like people don't see that at all. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even thinking about it. But it's good to relate to people like that because help you. But we been get a lot of guys, and also you say names who's wet in UFC, but we got like Angel Mercado, like A1, like 8 wins straight, like 3-4 finish. We got Jeremiah 9-0. We got Donovan like what 6-0, 7-0. And the list go on. So I can't wait for when all those fighters get to UFC and people start to actually give us the respect they should give.
All right, Lucas, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome when you take on Bogdan Grad February 1st? Ooh, what was that?
Second round knockout.
There you go, second round knockout. Well, Lucas, man, it's awesome seeing you again, man. I enjoyed talking with you, and I can't wait to see this fight, my friend.
I appreciate you and your time, man. I hope to see you before the fight, right?
Absolutely, man. I'll definitely try to jump out on Fusion and come see you guys. But that's it for us today. That is Lucas the Lion Alexander. I'm Carlo Prusa. Stick around, fight fans.